Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is JC. If you haven't seen my face before, today's video we are going to be rereading all of my 5-star Emily Henry books. So first up is Beach Read. Okay, you guys saw me start this book at the coffee shop this morning, but I was only able to read a few pages with the other tasks I was doing, so now I'm back home. I just got to the pool. I just set everything up, so I am ready to lay out and do some real reading. Okay, I got back from the pool, I took a rinse off shower, so I'm just feeling like clean and fresh and ready to give my first reading update to this reading vlog. I don't know if I said it, I'm sure it's in the title, but this is going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog, so I'm just going to focus on my thoughts, opinions, feelings while doing all of these rereads. I was really nervous heading into this because I've never reread a book before. So this is my first ever reread, and I know a lot of ratings can be dependent on the mood you're in while reading them. So this being a 5-star, I was just like, man, is it gonna give those same feelings? Like, what am I gonna think if I already know what happens? In this case, it's hitting so hard, if not harder. I am eating this book up. I'm feeling so much, and I think an element is because I know things that happen later. Like, certain things have been touched on here that I know are later revealed to us, and I'm like, no, but I know what night you guys are talking about, and I know what happened that night, so I'm just like thinking about them in the moment of kind of hinting at it early on, being like, I can only imagine what's going through your guys' heads right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hitting so much more because of that. So I'm excited to continue this and kind of see how that evolves and if that kind of opinion that I have now changes with the fact that I already know things that happen. But I can just tell you now, like, oh my gosh. One, I'm already in love with Gus. Like, can we just talk about that? Already love him. I kind of love that January is kind of a grumpier person right now. I think a lot of people know what this book is about, but to simply put it, you have two authors that are going to be living next to each other for the summer, and they both write very contrasting genres. January writes romance, happy ending, women's fiction, and Gus writes this very like kind of dark subgenre of literary fiction, and so they strike up a deal where they are going to write each other's genre, and they are going to take each other on these little excursions, adventures, in order to kind of like help the other out. So January would take Gus on these like rom-com-y type dates, and Gus would take her, I think it says on the back, he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. And I just like, I love that concept. I think it's so fun. So I'm just excited to continue this, but the first 82 pages, they're hitting. Good morning, it's the next day, and I wanted to hop on and give you guys a reading update before I did any more reading today. So last night, I made it to the 50% mark, so I'm now on page 186, chapter 17. I'm eating this book up. Like, it has not like slowed down for me on the like excitement 5-star feeling level at all. Like, I think I gave you guys the update around like 100 pages ago, and just everything that happens is just hitting so hard, and it's hitting harder than the first time around because I just know the full picture now. So the moments that are happening now, I'm just like, I'm just eating it up. I'm eating this book up. So I actually want to finish this today, which I think I can. I'm going to do a little bit of reading now, and we'll see how far I get to, but oh gosh, I'm loving it. been, I don't know, like an hour and a half or something, and I am now on chapter 22, page 265. This book is so good. I have to get ready for work, so I have to put it down, but I only have this much left. I think I'm like 75% of the way through it. It's just so good. Like, it's so good. And I think what's so interesting is I think in a lot of romance books, it's so necessary to have both POVs so you really grasp like the full picture of both the characters and like what they're thinking and what they're feeling. But the way Emily Henry writes, I never feel like I'm missing that. Like, us not having Gus's POV, I don't feel like I'm missing it. And I think the way she writes it, it doesn't make it feel like a missing piece. It just makes it feel like this is a part of the story, and the whole journey is you learning through January more about him. And I just love them so much. I'm gonna get ready for work. I'm going to do all the work things, and then we will touch base later whenever I get to continue this. Okay, I just got home from work, so I'm thinking I just want to sit and binge the rest of this book. Like I said, I have probably 25% of it left, and I'm dying to finish this. Like, I was about to start filming this clip, and I just thought about Gus, and I was just like, I just love that man. I just love that man. I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and finish Beach Read. I just finished Beach Read. I mean, it's still 5 stars. It's so good. Like, I don't know exactly what makes this book as amazing as it is. I think it really is just a collection of many small moments. But I love Gus and January so much. So much. I'm now very nervous to read the next 2 books because, I mean, this reread experience was just so good that I'm nervous about what the others will be like. But the first one is done, and I could not be happier. Okay, next up, we are going to be picking up Happy Place. I'm very nervous for this one because I didn't give this 5 stars because of the romance. I really liked it, but I gave this 5 stars because of how much I related to Harriet and how much I just felt what she was going through. So I think I'm in a very similar place right now doing this reread. So I think it's going to hit the same, but at the same time, it's a little scary. So let's go ahead and start this.
It's been 4 weeks since you called, and I've been waiting here for you all along. I've been waiting here for you all along.
Okay, I just got back from the coffee shop. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am on chapter 8. I'm like a little over 80 pages into this. I'm not okay. Like, in any way, shape, or form. Unwell. Like, reading this book in public was so hard because I wanted to just giggle in these moments, and like I was blushing so hard. Oh my god. And I just had to reel it in because I'm like, I can't have someone looking at me reading this book. I'm just so happy. I kid you not, it was like 10 pages into this, and I was like, Harriet, that is so me. Like, I'm just reminded about all the little things that I'm like, no, I am her. That's what makes me obviously relate to this book so much. I know a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but I mean, this book is very 50-50. People either like loved it or they're like, hey, this was a miss for me. And it all comes down to if you relate to Harriet. Like, I kid you not. But at the same time, can we talk about when? Oh my God. Like, I am blushing. I'm not good. It's the like flashback scenes of them first meet. This man has balls of steel, honestly. He's just like so forward in certain moments that I'm like, wow. Anyways, that's my update. I'm going to continue reading this today, and I will update you probably at least maybe at like the halfway point would be my next goal. Okay, I'm here to give you guys my next reading update. I'm currently 50% of the way through this book, so I'm on chapter 19, page 192, and I'm still obsessed with it. I'm loving this as much as the first time I read it. I just love all the different representations of relationships in this. You have the relationship that one has with themselves, they have with their romantic partners, their friendships, their family. I just love this. I think it's representing it so accurately, at least for me, because of how much I relate to Harriet, and we're getting, you know, Harriet's POV through the whole thing. So just seeing her navigate it all, I relate. I relate so much, and I've loved watching it the second time. I've loved watching all the past of their relationships, growing, of the friendship starting from early college, right? And now they have these annual trips together. I want to go to Maine so bad now, so there's that. I love her and Wynn's past scenes and seeing how they connected back then, and then being able to see current time and how all the friendships have blossomed, how close they've all gotten, how they just maintain those relationships, but in a very adult, realistic way. Like, they can go months without really talking with each other, but they just have that close-knit where whenever they get in the room together, it's like no time has passed in a way, and we love relationships like that, but at the same time, it's very hard, and there's so much that goes into those. And then you have the romantic side where you're seeing Harriet and Wynn like have so much history together, but having to navigate real life issues and real life growth that can be so hard to deal with when you're young and not understanding that, like maybe what your partner needs, because you don't know those signs and you're trying to grow yourself, and it's just all so real and raw, and I just love this book so much. So I think my next update with you guys will probably be when I finish it, but I wanted to hop on and at least give you guys my thoughts on this halfway through. Okay, I just read probably another 50 or so pages. I'm on chapter 24, page 249. I have that much left. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm loving it, you know, as much as I can when kind of sad scenes happen. But it's just so much. I kind of forgot just how much family is a part of this as well. Like, I knew they touch on it, but I forgot like all the scenes about family that's in here, and I'm just like, Harriet, Wynn, I mean, it's just, it's so good. It's so good, and I'm glad that I'm rereading this, and I'm already looking forward to when I do another reread of this and annotate this book so much front to back, because there's just so much to talk about here, and I'm just so glad that I'm rereading it. Okay guys, I finished Happy Place last night. I had probably like 25-30% of the book left, and I felt so much in that last 25%. So much. I cried several times reading this last night, and I thought I was just gonna read for another like hour ish, like, you know, get another bit of the way through and then finish it today. But I could not put it down because I was just so in the moment. And I ended up posting this review for my 2024 reread of this. I last read this at the end of May last year, so nearly a year out, which is kind of cool. But I just love how much this helped me all over again. Like, I feel like this has to be an annual reread or something because it's such cheaper therapy. You know what I mean? Like, I love books like that for people that, like, they just connect in such a way that it feels like therapy. Like, that's what this felt like. I feel like I grew with Harriet in this book, and I summed up in here nicely, like, on my review, but one line that stuck out to me, that's just, like, I feel like the essence of how I feel about this book is I didn't give this book 5 stars for the plot or the characters. Like, oh my god, I just love all these characters so much. I gave this 5 stars for me. Like, this book feels like it was for me, and everything I went through in this book, 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense in my head, so I hope that makes sense, but I'm so glad that I reread this. I feel like it was the perfect time for me to reread it. I can't wait to reread this again and just annotate it so much. This is so fun. I'm so glad that I picked this up right now. I feel like I just really needed it. I needed it. So, second reread done. We have one more left, and that is Book Lovers. This is the one that I think I'm most nervous about because I didn't like, okay, I really liked our characters, but this isn't a book I obsessed over as much as Happy Place and Beach Read. Like, now that I reread it, I realized just like how much I instantly felt that 5 star, where I was just like, the thought of Gus in January melted my soul. The thought of this book in every way, shape, or form, explosions in my heart. But with Book Lovers, I just remember having such a great time with it. Like, such a great time that I'm now, oh, now I remember. Okay. I mean, there's just bits and pieces of Emily Henry's characters that I relate to, and I think that Nora, hers is her being a workaholic. So now, me reading this, where I've really focused on me reading, not this, Book Lovers, when I've really changed how I look at, like, my work and work-life balance and everything, I'm curious if, like, I would feel less of that connection. I mean, that's a fingers crossed, as in I hope I don't still feel like I'm a workaholic. And I wonder how that will affect things. So I am going to start that book next, and it'll be our last rereading by Emily Henry, 5 stars. Okay, the hair is just gonna have to be what it is. But I just got back from the pool and I officially started Book Lovers. This is a book that I really thought I wasn't gonna end up reading for this video, but then I started it today and I do want to finish it. I think what made me nervous about this, I think I said it in the last clip, but at this point, guys, it's been like a week since I filmed that. I was nervous heading into this because I remember why I gave it 5 stars and how I connected to the main female character here is because she is a total workaholic, and I related to that in a lot of ways. And so I have really worked on myself in that part of my life to not be a workaholic and enjoy life a bit more with friends and just doing things I love, like reading, all of that. And so I was worried heading into this, like, oh god, is this reread gonna make it like not 5 stars, you know, because I'm not gonna have that same connection. I think I'm right. I am on chapter 9. I'm about 110 pages into this. And I think in my last updates that I gave, like the first updates of Beach Read and the first update of Happy Place, about what, like 80, 90 pages in, you could see it. Like, you could see me obsessing over that book. I am liking it. I'm entertained by it. But I'm not like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. So there's that. I'm going to continue on with this. I'll update you guys, I don't know, when I get to some point. You know, I'm going to try my best not to just update you guys when I finish it, but as far as being 100 pages in and already feeling that, yeah, I noticed that difference, but I like it. Like, it's reminding me of how I felt reading, like, People We Meet on Vacation. I really like that book. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, but, like, I didn't relate to Poppy in any way, shape, or form, so I just really enjoyed it as, like, an outsider. Same with Funny Story. I didn't like relate to how Daphne is, so I was just like enjoying it, rooting for a love story on the outside perspective and like a side character in a way. But for this, I will say, like, the first time around, I don't really remember how I felt throughout it. How I'm feeling now, I'm like, okay, I don't know, some people are like, oh my god, it's like so insta-lovey and they don't like that. For me, there's like a difference. Like, if it's like these two people that like instantly meet and they're like completely infatuated with each other and like attracted to each other and like things escalate quickly, that's not like a turn off for me. I think it's when all of a sudden they're like, this person is like the love of my life. I want to marry them. I want to have their babies for sure. Like, now. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just like stop and think for a minute. But for this, it feels like, yes, that like kind of instant love, like just like attraction, but it's not like they're like, oh my god, like, I love you, I want to marry you. It's just like they're attracted to each other. And I've had people in my life like that. Like, I've like had friends that have also talked about this, where it's just like you're so attracted to someone and you don't fully understand why. It's just like this aura about them that you're like, wow, I really don't know a lot about this person, but like I want to know everything, or like I am just so attracted towards this person, and like something just doesn't, like, I can't pinpoint what it is. Like, that's how that kind of feels here, where it's like, okay, well, like the logistics is like you don't like know each other that well, but you just kind of have that instant chemistry and like attraction towards each other. So I hope that makes sense. Like, that's not a turn off for me, I think, because of experiences I've had in life. But yeah, I'm interested to see like how I continue with this. I already don't think it would be a 5-star. Like, I would be so shocked. But I'm still glad that I'm doing this reread, because I think it is interesting when you do read things like at different points in your life, and like you could relate to someone so much more in your past, but then in your present you're like, hey, I've worked on myself, so I don't relate to you as much. So it's good that I can't see myself in your shoes. But then there's the reverse, where it's like I could have read a book, you know, a couple of years ago, where like, yeah, I don't really like vibe with that main character, but like I like the story. And then like now, like, it's growth and everything and just where I'm at in life, like I could love a book so much more and give it 5 stars. So I think I'm liking doing rereads in general, and I definitely want to do more in the future. So I'm gonna let you guys know how I do, maybe about 50% mark, 75, I don't know. I'll try to do one more update before I actually finish it. It's been a couple hours, but I've been continuing on with this book. I'm a little under 75% of the way through it. I'm on chapter 25, page 268. Oh my gosh, I'd be so curious if I documented myself reading this the first time around. I know I didn't do a like dedicated vlog for it, but I'd be curious if I did some sort of reading vlog where I documented the thoughts and feelings I was having throughout reading it, so I could like go back and see what the differences are. Because what I can say is the last like 50% that I've read, because I think I last talked to you guys around the 25% mark, but in the last bit that I've read since we've chatted, I've just been like having this feeling of this is just fun. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm just having a fun time reading this. But you guys saw in this video when I was doing the rereads of Beach Read and Happy Place, like, I was just so immersed in the lives and the stories and in that world. And I just don't have that same feeling here. It's so weird. It is so weird. I think I just kind of knew that this book was going to be different compared to the other two. But like I said, I'm still like having a great time. Like, I enjoyed this story. I don't think I would switch up from being like, this is a 5-star book to like 3 stars. Like, I'm still really liking it. I just have such a different experience reading this, I think, from the growth that I've had in the last year, even with my workaholic tendencies. So this has been so interesting. as just like kind of an experience and an experiment with a reread. But yeah, that is my kind of 75% mark update, and I will give you my final thoughts when I finish it. It's the next morning, and last night I did finish Book Lovers. I already posted my review on Goodreads. It's interesting because as I started my reading journey over the last couple of years, I really wasn't posting reviews. I was doing like the rating and like the date I finished the book, but that was pretty much it. I wasn't really formulating my thoughts and opinions on Goodreads. I was just doing it on video. So I'm interested to see like moving forward as I've began posting more and more reviews, like how will that be as I continue to do rereads in the future? Because I'll be able to really identify my old thoughts. So I don't know, just kind of like I thought I had when I had to have my first review on this book be 2024 reread. Anyways, I gave this book 4.5 stars. I think it really is about what I described and talked about at the like 75% mark, where I just talked about my experience being different reading this, and it's a lot of growth from my perspective of just where I identified most with Nora. Like, I don't have a sibling that I had to take care of because of circumstances. Like, I have parents, I have a mom, I have my brother. Like, I just didn't experience that with her. The only thing I really connected with Nora on was her work ethic, and like she wants to do her best. She feels like she always has to be there for everyone, and I definitely felt that for the first like year and a half at my job. Like I felt like I couldn't take time off. I felt like I did have to just work 24/7 and always be available in case something happened, something came up, whatever the case may be. So I really didn't have this work-life balance. I mean, I didn't really put it above other people, but I definitely put it above like my well-being, and I definitely made myself more accessible when I didn't need to. And so that's where I just connected so much with her, and I think that's what boosted it to the 5-star level when I first read it. Now I'm creating more of that work-life balance, and I'm taking time off when I want to or when I need to, when I'm able, like whatever. I'm definitely balancing more of when I'm working and when I just want to relax, just so much better in the day-to-day life. And therefore, like I just had less of that connection. It was more like I was seeing book 2 of Nora, where she was better understanding, hopefully, how work and life should be. And then like with the romance didn't bother me. Like I know a lot of people I think complained about this being like insta-lovey and like make it make sense. Like why are we so attached to each other? But I talked about previously how like I've experienced that where it's like I can't really pinpoint why I'm so attracted towards this person, but like I am, and I just want to be around them. I just want to be near them. I want to learn more about them. And I felt like that's what this was here. It's just like that chemistry, like that something just fits and it doesn't make sense. Where you're like, I don't know why I want to open up to this person when I don't normally open up to anyone and I've known him for 2 seconds. Like, make it make sense. I think she's feeling the same thing. Like, why is Charlie making me so comfortable? Why am I saying all these things I normally would never say? And I've experienced that. And so I think like that doesn't turn me off of it. I think I really like the ending of this. It screams rom-com. But like, I really like this. Like, it's just such a fun book. And I understand, though, why it wasn't as big of a hit with everyone. But when I just kind of have fun with it and I just enjoy the story being told and, like, kind of really envision that Hallmark-y rom-com story, amazing. This is definitely more of that than our typical Emily Henry, where it's like, whew, like that is deep. Like that is deep. I think there's definitely parts of this that many people can relate to if they have had to kind of play parent in their life to their siblings, or like they just feel like they can't let anyone down. They always have to be available for people, whether or not it's in their work life or their personal life. Like I think that's how you connect to this book and how you give it that 5 stars, how you have that Emily Henry 5-star feeling. So this was definitely a fun experience with doing all of the rereads because, again, this is my first time rereading any book, and so I'm interested to do it in the future with books that I didn't give 5 stars, but I think maybe it was just time and place. I didn't, you know, I wasn't in the right mood to read it or whatever, but like doing a reread to see, does it get boosted from a 4 to a 5, or rereading more of my 5 stars in the future to see if they still hold up to that 5-star feeling. So this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are motivated to do your own rereads. I feel like I've posted on Instagram about this, of just like, I'm doing my rereads, and I posted something about my Happy Place reread and like how it's just so different. Like I really talked about it in this video, but I saw so many comments being like, this has motivated me to do my own reread. And I've just been seeing so many people recently rereading their Emily Henry books, and I love that. So please let me know if you have reread any of your Emily Henry faves. Which ones are your faves and like why? Because I think that is what's so interesting. I feel like you can learn so much about people from which books they gave 5 stars from Emily Henry, because I think it just tells you a lot about them and like what they connect to and like what they related themselves to. So please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.